After 8 long years of director swapping, studio changing, script changes, and so much more drama behind the scenes, Five Nights at Freddy's is officially here, and unfortunately, it's getting quite a lot of stick, especially from some critics. And I'm someone who's played the games since 2014 when the first one launched, so I figured I'd jump on and defend it. But if you think that means I'm gonna say it's perfect, well, strap in, because it absolutely is not. As I'm sure most of us know, the movie follows Mike, a troubled security guard who begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. During his first night on the job, he realises that the shift won't be so easy to get through, and pretty soon he will unveil the dark and twisted past of what actually happened at Freddy's. Straight away with what we have to praise, no matter what, even if you didn't enjoy this movie, that I think is just too good to ignore, is the movie's magnificent practicality. Five Nights at Freddy's more than deserves an award for the marvellous practicality that the movie achieves, from the beautiful cinematography and set pieces that truly bring the atmosphere and haunted pizzeria to life, to the fantastic lighting. And of course, the animatronics themselves, which are a creation of Jim Henson's Creature Shop. They look stunning, both behind the scenes and on camera. Having the animatronics be a genuine and tangible product of the film and its production allows for the actors to truly interact with them in a way that couldn't be done to this effect or feeling through the use of CGI, which, to be upfront, I am absolutely sure there were CGI touch-ups at certain moments in this film where the animatronics needed that extra push, but when it was done, if it was done, it was seamless. It's clear that Blumhouse poured every penny, dollar, and check into ensuring this movie looked the best it could, and wasted no expenses in doing so, because the final product, from a visual and technical standpoint, is marvellous as mentioned. As for the animatronics as characters, Freddy, Foxy, Chica, Bonnie and more, they ruled. And the sequences where they're lurking in the shadows or roaming the halls took me right back to my childhood and the first game in 2014. And part of me wishes the movie as a whole focused just more on that simpler side. But nonetheless, the movie is admittedly far from terrifying, and similarly to the games, loves its jump scares. But that's not a problem or even a flaw to me here, because that's kind of what I was expecting. This is a Five Nights at Freddy's adaptation after all, and so the execution of them works much more often than not. The film is silly, even to the point where at times you wish it was a little more serious, and it does cut quite a lot of corners, but nonetheless, I still thought it was a fun time with plenty of really great elements to take from it into the future film. Its goal was to entertain, and in my opinion, it did that regardless of the flaws that it carries. As for our main set of human characters, Josh Hutcherson, of course from Hunger Games, takes on the role of Mike, a character who's traumatized by the events of the past that he's never really gotten closure on, and as such, he's in a fairly stagnant and rough part of his life. The movie does a great job at setting Mike up, and getting us to really like for him as well as root for him and his younger sister Abby at the same time. They both have that relatable older and younger sibling chemistry together, and ultimately their characters and the performances behind them, which were great, elevated the movie as a whole. Additionally is Elizabeth Lail's Vanessa, who I have to say straight off the bat, while I do appreciate her presence in this film, I do think she has some great moments alongside Mike and Abby. She is a very weak part of this movie's already fragile and honestly quite jarring screenplay. I think going forward for a FNAF 2, which, let's be honest, is definitely going to happen at this point, they do need to hire either a new set of writers or look at the screenplay one or two times before actually heading into filming with it. Additionally, the movie has quite a lot of humour, and most of it actually lands. A lot of this comes in the form of Mary Stuart Masterson's Aunt Jane, who adds as much family drama to the film as that very much appreciated humour. The movie ensures to write some scene-stealing and laugh-inducing scenes to go with here, and they really do work in all the right and intended ways. Now, of course, one of the very anticipated characters of this film was the highly awaited debut of Matthew Lillard's William Afton. And while the character may appear in the film less than one would hope, and I certainly would have liked to see more of him, when we do see him, he shines and is absolutely sensational in every way possible, with a lot of Stu Macher-like vibes sprinkled over his performance and character. What we saw of him and what was touched upon of him for possibly more has got me very, very excited for what's next. So sure, Five Nights at Freddy's is silly. It is jarring at times, fairly uneven, I think is fair to say, and it definitely does have its problems. I am not going to disagree with that, and if you think that, I totally can see why, and again, in parts, I do agree. But nonetheless, I thought, as someone who has been very excited for this film, that I got out of it what I was hoping for. A nice, satisfying, and thrill-worthy good time at the movies that offers a genuine lease on life for the series going forward. I do think, while this movie wasn't great, while it was only good, if they improve some of the problems that we've talked about for the sequel, that movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, could genuinely be great and win over a lot of people who have maybe already been lost as a result of their opinions on this film. But if you've seen the film, comment down below your thoughts, whether you enjoyed it, whether you didn't, your favourite moments, if you will, spoiler free, if you can. That'll be great to hear. Thanks so much for watching this video. You guys have been awesome, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.